What's up, spectators? Welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Before I start, I have a serious question to ask you, the viewers. Because this is the final case, I can see the end. I don't know if it'll be a month, a little over, but the end is coming for this series. And this is, without a doubt, the most popular series I've had on this channel. So I have to ask, when this is over, what games or videos would you like to see? Because that really is important, because I'm not sure what to do after this to follow up this Ace Attorney series. So that would really help if you left a comment with your opinions. Please do. But in any case, let's get back into this. Last time we were talking with, oh god, I don't remember his name. Well, I'll call him Spaceman because I don't remember his name for some reason. Starbuck, that's it. And we were talking about how the rooms would switch, and that the museum room, which is where they were originally in, didn't require fingerprint access. But I think we exhausted all of our dialogue options here. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and I guess we'll move then. Where are we moving to? Not a lot of options. I thought we already came from the. Okay. Oh, that's right. We came here first. Segway man droomed away. Bad man. Oh, there he is. Oh, shoot. Wait. Oh, no. It's been so long, I don't remember what voice I gave him. Curse the wretch who sullied my good name. Reverse course and full speed away. Director Cosmos, wait. This guy. I'll handle this, Daddy. Take that. Stab. The mobility system has been compromised. Trucy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his tires. And the streak continues. But she was really aiming for the guy. She wanted to kill him. I've raised a murderer. Maybe I should have kept a closer watch on what tricks she's been practicing. My dear old battleship, we've fought many a skirmish together. It has been an honor. Oh, wow, my voice is rough today. Daddy's gonna blow that thing up? Nah, I bet all that button will do is make him go haywire again. Very well, I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expect to be treated honorably. That's not how prisoners of war are treated. Switching the launch pads. Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the two launch pads to begin with. Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent, but I will say my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could do to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. Oh, wow. I can't do it today. Wow. Ah. You'll have to forgive me. I'm just going to have to give him boring voice, which is my voice. My boring default voice. My Phoenix voice. The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Now that my battleship has been destroyed and I've been taken prisoner. You lying sack of crap. Gonna Magatama your ass. No secrets left. Huh? I beg to differ. Looks like I'll have to undo his psych locks if I want to get to the bottom of this. Do it! Behind the switching of the launch pads. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the two launch pads. I refuse. You can't make me. I can hold out longer than anyone. I hope I never get like this when I'm old. Now let's see, where to start. This is how you explained your motive for switching the launch pads. You did it? Wait. Wasn't it to save the astronauts? Thanks to you switching the launch pads, the astronauts escaped injury from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket, far away from the actual explosion. My astronauts were raring to go out on an authentic adventure in space. How do you propose I had them board a fake rocket without them noticing? I agree, you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured it out the instant they stepped into the Space Museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he'd been drugged with his medication, but without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off. That's Clay, right? Hold on. There's Clay and Starbuck, then him. I don't think he's talking about the detective. Wait, is he talking about the... No. Wait. Maybe. It might be the detective.
Take that!
Nope, it's Clay. Okay. You must have gotten Mr. Terran to help you. He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then, with Mr. Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum. Someone please help this poor prisoner of war! How is he able to spin around like that? If you really wanted to save the astronauts' lives, shouldn't you have just called off the launch? If I could have done that, do you think I would have gone to all that trouble? I guess he must have had a compelling reason why he couldn't call it off. But how did you know to switch the pads in advance of the bombing incident? Well, that's because... I was warned in advance. Once I received that warning, it was my duty to ensure my astronaut safety. But it was just a warning. It could have even have been a prank. Why did you believe it so completely? Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about. Oh my god, this is when Pearly comes back. I know it. Oh, I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. Besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone. Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication system, you see? AKA a telephone. It's been a while planning another launch. I see you haven't learned. That is the most boring threat I've ever heard. Yeah, you didn't learn your lesson, see? I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that really boring and stupid call. The bomber said, it's been a while, and that was enough to make you take the threat seriously. Perhaps Director Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before. Maybe. The culprit in the current case is the same person who was involved in this incident. Wait, culprit in the current case is the same person who was involved in this incident? Current case? What's the difference between current case and this incident? Oh, the bombing. Oh, wait. Yeah. The Hat 2 bombing. That must be where the answer to your secret lies. All hands, ready to Galactic Scooter's main turrets. Teach this blockhead what a precision shot is all about. Ah, you got me. I guess I was way off that one. Wait, oh, I was wrong. Okay, hold on. Culprit in the current case is the same person who was involved in this incident. Oh, the Hat 1 miracle. If the threat was planning another launch, see? Okay. The Hat 1 miracle, that epic story of survival. People across the nation know it now as a heroic tale of bravery. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage, perpetrated by our current killer, wasn't it? Very few knew about the previous plot, so when the caller said, it's been a while, you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real, and it wasn't a prank. Didn't everyone okay, stop. Didn't everyone ever tell you to go easy on an ex-serviceman? I had to, I don't know what my brain was doing there. It was like, you're gonna be a, I don't know. Yes, the Hat 1 miracle is really a desperate battle against an act of sabotage. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the fight. Sabotage, murder. So this is the ugly truth behind the Hat 1 miracle. I bet it was that girl in the picture with the black hair, whoever she is. I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught and that the case was closed. Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago? This must be the person Director Cosmos thought was the culprit. Wait. This must be the... Who's that? Who's that? Junie? What's she doing in here? Get out of here, Junie. You're done. 2 cases with you and you're making your way into a 3rd? Wait, who is it? Who's the culprit? A culprit from a murder that 7 years ago. It's not Clay, and it's not Starbuck. That wouldn't make sense. Maybe Athena? Maybe he thinks it's Athena? Let me see who else is there. It's not Apollo. I don't know why it'd be Junie. Oh! Maybe it's Blackquill.
Take that!
Oh. Ooh, I'm good. Saiban Blackquill, the murder suspect in a case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the 2 incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought that he committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackquill was behind bars, you got another threatening call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Saiban Blackquill. Realizing that, you were shaken. It meant the true culprit's been running free all this time, prancing about through the meadows, uncaught. Every time I do that, I forget. How do you keep straight to me? I'm sorry. I'm losing it. I'm losing my touch. Tell me your secrets. Tell me the secret. Plus 1 million points if you know what that's from. 1 billion points if you know what that's from. The reason why Director Cosmos won't talk about why he switched the launch pads is connected to the truth behind the Hat 1 miracle. The sabotage. It's so fun to say. Sabotage. Sausage. And murder that happened at the Space Center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding. I love it when he does that. If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch the launch pads, we'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. 7 years ago? You mean the so-called Hat 1 miracle? The launch went smoothly, but once the ship entered outer space, then the troubles began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person and their evil scheme. So Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental. Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. Wow, I had no idea such awful events were behind that exciting story of space heroism. All that in spice. In spice. In spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Saiban Blackquill. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, don't say demon. Oh, a spy. A spy! You mean somebody who infiltrates a foreign country? Carries out dangerous missions? And always gets the girl? Thank you for that definition. I do think most of us don't know what spies are. Come on, Trucy. I thought I taught you better than that. Someone's watching way too many late-night movies. Well, I guess if we're talking about blowing up a rocket and stealing research material, it's not all that surprising that a spy could be behind it all. The spy. Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in the space R&D race. Some try to outdo others by any means possible, even deliberate obstruction. 7 years ago, we got a call before the launch warning us of sabotage. The same MO as this time. Yes, yes. And here I thought the perpetrator had been caught, but it looks like I was wrong. Prosecutor Blackquill seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think? Aren't ninjas and spies basically the same thing? No? come on, you pseudo-Japanese Californian lawyer who's really from Japan but is said to be in California. But we know. You know what a ninja is. Don't act dumb. But there's a... But there's a good reason we failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government. Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy. Don't tell me they made the police rush the investigation. They did indeed. And then to cover up the sabotage. They're using that word a lot, I love it. They cleaned up the story. And that was the Hat One miracle, wasn't it? But then, 7 years later, the same MO, advance warning of sabotage. That must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads. Just like 7 years ago. 7 years ago, the spy gave you advance warning of their plans, just like this time. That was what made you decide to switch launch pads, wasn't it? That's right. The caller knew the facts of the case 7 years ago, despite the cover-up. They knew about the sabotage, the moon rock, the murder, and they said, "You don't want things to go like they did 7 years ago, do you?" I immediately thought of calling off the launch, but the government wouldn't let me. We don't give in to the likes of terrorists. We must proceed to for our country's honor. It was quite a moving speech, actually. Moving? Really? Maybe if you're easily inspired by political talking points. But I knew the truth. We had been warned, which meant that the danger was very real. And I knew there was no way to stop the spy, no matter what I did. I feel like I'm giving him... Okay, that's okay. That's okay. No matter what I did, they would find a way. That's why I switched the launch pads and staged the moving rescue scene. I'm making him sound so evil. I mean, that's what he's doing. He's got his little fingers crossed, like a villain. First, I snuck into the center that I shouldn't have done that. The night before it switched the launch pads. That way the astronauts would go from boarding lounge 1 to the Space Museum. Then, I put a closed for repair sign at the door to launch pad 1 in boarding lounge 2. You did that so normal visitors wouldn't enter, right? What else did you do? I enlisted the help of several staff members, including Taryn. But you didn't let Mr. Starbuck in on it? He'd already been through enough, and he's no good at lying to keep a secret. I'm afraid I had no choice but to have him drugged. My plan went well until... Clay's murder. After the culprit made their escape, I switched the launch pads back. I did it in such a way that no one would find out. But after all that effort... The voice I'm giving him almost reminds me of the one I gave for Filch. How did that one go? It was kind of like... Oh god, just thinking about... Oh, my throat cowers in fear. Taryn is dead and the Hat 2 is destroyed. And the Hope capsule, which had returned to us only recently, was also lost in that blast. My home, the center of the cosmos. My beautiful Cosmos Space Center is done for. What did he mean by the Hope capsule was lost in that blast? The Hope capsule. I thought that the Hope capsule was found at the crime scene with Mr. Taryn. It had just been brought back by the Hope space probe with asteroid samples inside. So what kind of samples are they? What's in them? The samples are scheduled for analysis in the near future. We haven't had time since they just came back the day before Taryn's murder. And it's been over 19 minutes, so I'm gonna end this video here, so stay tuned tomorrow for the next episode, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye! Fun fact, Adam is actually harvested from sea slugs. And they're put into the little sister's stomachs, and it generates far more Adam than it would normally on its own, which is pretty disgusting. Oh, I kind of want to listen. Why are you running? Is it because I'm running? It's because I'm running, isn't it? Shoot. I didn't realize. Art, science, to industry.